We are back. Sorry for whatever that was. Internet hiccups. Thank you for maintaining. Tevin, I believe you were about to do something amazingly stupid.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I am going to uh, run and put myself in between the druids and the shadow boys.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast darkness centered on myself.
Shadow girls too, it's possible. You don't know.
Shadow people. Shadow boys in the McElroy sense.
All right. Casting
Yes.
darkness.
The
Magical
boy?
darkness spreads from a point you choose within range. Fills 15-foot sphere.
How much bat fur are you walking around with? Wait a minute.
I can cast this as a drow. Once per day.
Right.
I recognize this may come as a surprise because I have literally never done it in all the time I have played this character.
All right,
This is
and what
unusual.
are you using? What is your point of choice?
Can I just do the ground?
You can do whatever you would like.
Yeah, then just the ground underneath me.
All right, so you just see, for those of you who are further away, you see this node now completely enveloped in darkness.
I see completely fine.
A sphere. All right.
No,
Anything
you
else?
Yes,
Or
I
do
did.
you? A
Double
creature with
sight.
dark. Oh!
Knew it would come in handy someday.
But how do you think
Wow.
Chaos Sight's going to work once you switch over?
And
Good question. I see out the back of my head.
I like the thought of that.
All right. So are you done with your turn?
I am done with my turn.
All right. The Gloomweaver on the other side of you, you can hear casts a spell, but you cannot see what they're doing. And Kendra, your visibility is. Oh no, you can see through. So you see that the Gloomweaver just is now covered in this almost. It looks like this almost icy shell around them. All right. The other one, Numerius, as you're getting there, runs up, and it is going to make a.
Runs up to me or to the poor
It
unsuspecting?
runs up to the druid that's there holding it, and it is going to take its spear and make 2 spear attacks against them. All right. They do not have a very high armor class. Here it comes. Two. So the first one, the energy kind of arcs down and makes a glancing blow. The second does not get parried away by the energy, and the druid takes 18 or 48 points of damage as it just jabs through, and you watch it just go straight through the neck, and that beam of light goes out. As the druid just sort of falls, and then he pulls back the spear, and the body sort of like falls lifeless, and then slams into the ground in front, just sort of right on the edge of the thing, and it sort of swirls its staff back around, looking at you. Kendra, you are up.
I would like to. Is one of them still in the darkness?
It's not in the darkness. The Tebran cast the darkness on himself and
okay.
the druid.
Gotcha.
So
Understood.
the other one is not in the darkness.
All right. I just want to blast one.
All right.
Specifically, the agonizing sense.
All right. That will hit. 13 will not hit, and 11 will not hit.
11 damage.
All right. All right, so that slams in. Anything else? And it immediately turns its attention towards you.
I'm gonna go and hop into the darkness.
All right. Numerius, you are up.
No, Marius can close the distance, is that correct?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, then I will absolutely go ham with my attack. The first one, of course, being a key sword attack with the option to Divine Smite upon its... Does a 15 manage to strike this creature?
You swing in towards it, and there's this magical energy that just bounces it off. So no, it does not contact. They're surrounded by some sort of abjuration magic, it seems.
Then, I probably did this wrong, so I'm not going to do it. But for precision attack that increases might to hit, that would be without knowing whether it hits, correct?
I believe so, yes.
All right, so I shall not. So here's my second attack. Key sword. Wapa. Does a 22 manage to penetrate?
22 definitely does hit.
Yes. I will Divine Smite. I will use a second level spell slot to do so.
All right.
And I will also roll the damage from the key sword itself. So let's do some maths. 10 damage for the first slot, 5, so 15 for the additional stuff. If it's undead, it becomes 18, and then plus 14 more.
So 29 total is what I get.
18 and 14.
Wait, 8. So there's, I see 14 for.
I'm
14
sorry. Is
for
it
the
an undead
attack.
or a fiend?
It is not an undead.
Okay, but
or
not a
fiend.
fiend either.
Neither
Okay,
of those two things.
Perfect. So 15 and 12 is 27. 29 points is correct.
29. Okay. So.
All right, well then.
Go ahead.
Is it dead?
Negative.
All right, then I will of course use my my favorite of the fighter features called Action Surge to take another 2 attacks.
All right.
Now, without knowing whether this hits or not, here's my precision attack to try to get it to hit. Does a 13 hit? No.
Unfortunately, no.
No. I will take away that resource as well. And here's my 4th attack.
So
really good.
Carried
roll.
away with the staff. 20 will hit.
Okay, I will use another second level spell slot to do the key sword damage.
All right.
And then, which is awfully exactly the same.
Keeps the math easy.
Divine Smite damage, which is
That's good.
Yeah, nice.
that's not bad.
But
So
except it's also exactly the same. Did you do second or first?
He said second level.
I did do a second level, so it'd be
Oh, I guess it's one off. 'cause
28.
It was 15, now it's 14.
28. So it's not as good, but it's pretty good.
All right. Still up, but looking much more worse for the weary. Managed to hack through the energy, cut them across the chest, and they have your full or you have their full attention right now.
Good.
go
It is radiant, if that matters. That is my entire turn.
It does not. All right. Tebrin, you are in the darkness.
I am. Okay. I'm going to emerge from the darkness.
All right.
Which will stay where I left it because I cast it on the ground, not on me. And do I have the movement to get to?
Yeah, it'll take about 30 feet to get to them.
Okay. I will get to them.
Okay.
And I will make 2 attacks. Here comes the first one.
All right.
With the Moonblade.
Hmm.
30 will
I was
hit.
30 looking. I am going to apply sneak attack. Because there's nobody within, etc., etc. 14, 24 points of damage off of that one. I am going to take my second attack.
All right. As you slam into the armor, you...
All right, armor of Agathis. Okay.
I'm just going to make sure I'm getting the right thing, because you did hit it with a melee attack. You take 5 points of cold damage
Okay.
there, and your damage total was 24.
Yes, and I will make a Constitution saving throw for concentration. Or for the course, darkness drops.
All
Still
right.
incapable of making a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
I like to think it's just because Tempered is extremely easily distracted.
Also, it doesn't matter, but you would have to make that saving throw with disadvantage.
I was lesser restorationed.
As you move in close, like immediately within range of this entity, you can just feel that there's this like kind of a downer. Like you get in and time almost seems to just like slow down, but not in a way that's like, oh, let's cherish this moment, but in a way that's just really grating and exhausting.
Okay. Well, I failed anyway. And I'm going to take my second attack.
All right. That will hit.
26. Why can't I roll like... Okay. This will not have sneak attack on it because I have used my sneak attack for another 15 points of damage. I will bonus act. Oh, I don't even need to do that. I will bonus action dash back up once again, putting myself between this creature and the druids.
All right. It will make an attack of or no,
it will not.
You're right. So it is 15 more points, and then.
And actually, I think I'm gonna move like 15 feet off of it. So not like all the way back to the druids, but firmly putting myself between this creature and the druids.
All right.
And now I will end my turn.
It will step forward towards you, and it's going to start reaching out at you. It goes to grab with one hand. All right. So this is its attack roll. This is a melee spell attack. Oh, no, not plus 78. That is not going to work. Does a 24 hit you?
24 will still do it, yeah.
All right. You immediately take... You take 6 points of necrotic damage. And you can see as it hits you, it just sucks energy out from you, and some of its wounds begin to close.
Has my hit point maximum been affected, or is it just
negative? Okay. All right, and
just checking.
Now it will make 2 spears against you, or spear attacks against you. Here it is. It's one-handed on this because it is made that attack with the other hand. 10 misses you, and then the second one comes in. Does a 14 hit you?
No.
All right. That will do it for its turn. It is standing immediately adjacent to you. The next one is going to turn towards you, Numerius, and it will just reach out and conjure up, holding its spear in the other hand, this swirling mass of energy that just bursts right into you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
With a 6 on the roll, it becomes a 13.
All right. That is unfortunately a failure as blight comes out of this. So you will take 8d8 necrotic damage as it slams into you. Ooh, really horrible rolls for me.
Whoa. I like them.
23 necrotic damage from that, and after casting, it will make its 2 spear attacks against you now, too.
Was it a ranged attack at disadvantage? No?
It is not an attack, because you make a saving
it's a
throw.
save.
All right, so
Ow.
spear coming at you.
All right,
Spear
okay,
attack number 1, 25?
25. I would like to say that misses, but it does not.
Okay, so you take 40 points of damage, 7 from piercing, 33 from necrotic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the next one.
Gonna add it all up in a second, I'm sure.
All right. Does a 20 not natural hit you?
My armor class is 21.
Very good. As just misses. Kendra, you are up.
At some point, am I able to? Because I'm not great at theater of the mind.
So you see them run off
numeric-
away, maybe like a quarter of the way around the circle, and you can see them now that they're like engaged in combat.
Okay, so I see all that happen to Numerius.
Tebrin and Kendra are closer to you than Numerius is.
Okay, but Blight looks familiar to me. He's alone. I'm gonna start running towards him.
Okay.
What's Blake do? Let's find out.
Lots of necrotic damage.
Yes. Drains moisture and vitality.
If you were a plant, you'd be dead.
He'd be dead right now. Yeah, and if you guys wanted to do anything, so you'll get to Tebrin and Kendra first. We'll say in.
Oh, so I'd have to pass Tebrin and Kindred first and then get to Numerius? It's not like a split?
He went to the far one.
Okay.
It was like the next two over from you.
All right.
So it'll take you 2 rounds using all of your movement to get to the first one. And then
I'll be dashing.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in on initiative. Okay. So yeah, we'll say that you're dashing in that regard. Kendra, you're up.
Agonizing blast. Again.
Okay. Fire when ready.
Firing.
Hit, miss, miss.
God, what's going on today? 6 damage. Great. That's my turn.
All right.
Ouch.
And I'm gonna back up to the maximum of my range.
Am I Oh, never mind. That was a Constitution save. Forget it.
All right. You're good.
All good.
Numerius, you're up.
Numerus will continue the attack. Does a 20 hit?
Yes, 20 will hit him.
I'm going to add this superiority die to it, which I should have done, to try to disarm this spear of kill me from this creature.
All right. So that's his strength save.
It is.
Coming at you, DC. Did that roll anything?
I see nothing.
Try it again. That one rolled. 11. Does not. You knock it loose. It slides down onto the ground at its feet.
Excellent. The damage for that attack shall include a first level spell slot. So here is roll here, and 8 more, so a total of 22.
All right. Not looking good, but still alive.
Okay, it's my second attack time. Can't click things very well. There we go. The roll on the dice is only a 4, so I will try to spend yet another precision die. Just effect. It does an 18 hit.
18 will just barely hit.
Thank you. Finally worked out.
Redirecting into a more precise location.
Indeed. So the damage.
You are truly a master of battle.
It's 16 more.
All right. Not dead yet, though. Unfortunately. Disarmed and kind of holding a gaping wound in their shoulder, but still up.
I beg you to reconsider. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, Tebrin, you are up.
I am going to make a Moonblade attack.
All right.
To the shock of everybody involved.
Swinging the Moonblade.
It is terrible.
17 will hit.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. This will have some sneak attack on it.
So
30 points of slashing damage on that one.
All right. As you hit it, you feel the contact, and then it's gone. it just sort of blinks out.
Oh. Did this happen last time?
Nope.
Okay. I am gonna back up, so I am essentially like back to back with the druid. And I'm gonna hold my second attack for if it reappears.
Okay, since you've already initiated the attack action, you cannot use a readied action, unfortunately.
Okay, then I will just stand there.
All right, you can use it on the druid if you want.
Finish the job.
All right,
I would not, thank you.
Roswell, running up. You are now kind of within range of. You're within 60 feet of the Tebran Kindra encounter going on right now.
Okay, so I am going to Sacred Flame it, but continue to move towards Numerius.
Okay.
So
actually, you cannot see it.
Oh, I can't see it. Oh, that's the one that just blinked out.
You can't see it at all.
Okay, then I'm just gonna keep dashing because I think that things are fine. So I'm gonna keep running towards Numerius.
All right.
Or I don't think things are fine. I just can't see a threat.
Sounds good. You do see it appear, Roswell. As you kind of begin to pass, it appears kind of up ahead of you now, in between where the two druids are. It appears, and it is going to take an Eldritch Blast attack, 3 attacks on the druid.
On my druid?
On your druids. That hits. That hits. And last one misses. So this is 2 damages. So 23 points of damage. And it doesn't have anything it can attack with its spear, but it slams into the druid. You can see the beam just sort of falter for a second. He manages to catch it, but Tebran, you can see sort of whole side has been kind of blasted away, and he looks in very bad shape. All right, the one near you, Numerius, is going to make a spell attack against you, melee spell attack. So coming at you. Does not hit, and then we'll take an action to bend over and pick up, actually a free item interaction to bend and pick up his staff with one hand and then jab it at you. We'll say that takes up one of his attacks. And this is 16 hit you?
No.
All right, so in the time that he could have made one attack, he kind of bends over and picks it up and then stabs out at you, not managing to connect on anything. Kendra, you're up.
I'm gonna mix it up in an agonizing blast.
That will hit. That will hit. Miss. So 2 hits.
25.
All right. Accounted for as that one staggers down, and looking up at you defiantly, but near death. Numerius, you are up.
Excellent. I shall attack with great haste. Hacha!
That hits.
Excellent. No extra stank, just 14.
All right, and that is enough. You jam in and then slice down and push it off. It just sort of tumbles over the edge of the precipice down, falling into the gem spiral descent crater back behind you as that one has dropped. All right, anything else?
Yes, I shall be taking my second wind Right there. Yes, that is the greatest as I could have gotten. Rolling a 1, getting 7 hit points back. I shall then take whatever move actions I have available to me to return and try to flank the other one, or
All right.
whatever.
So heading that way. So next turn you can get to them. You're kind of like halfway. You do see you run up toward. You see Roswell's now about 30 feet or so away from you.
I high five Roswell as I move 50 feet that way.
All right, Tevrin, you are up.
Okay, I'm going to start with a bonus action healing word to the druid behind me at 3rd level.
Okay.
Here comes that. Ugh.
9 points of healing. 9.
9. Okay. Spell slot accounted for. I am going to go 30 feet in Roswell's direction, and then I am going to that and pull out my secret dart and send it winging in the direction of
I know, it's no Marius, I know.
this creature.
Oh.
All right. So it needs a something save? Or
DC 16.
Dexterity.
Dex
DC
save.
16.
All right, it succeeds.
Okay. All right. It's
Just
literally the
whisks
only
over.
thing I have right now.
All right. Anything else?
No, I will end my turn.
All right, Roswell, you see Nemerius slay the one in front of him, start running with haste back towards you.
Oh my god. So like I start running in the like I like turn tail and I start running in the other direction. If I move like 25 feet, am I at least 60 feet in front from that other Gloomweaver?
Isn't
Yes,
there only
yeah,
one
you're
left?
you're probably the closest one to it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to
Because you're both sort of in the middle of where those two nodes were.
Okay, all right. Oh, is that node still there?
All right.
The node place it is there.
I will be back unavoidable, sorry.
Yep, no worries. There's a little like casting circle, but the druid that was in it is dead, and there is no beam of energy coming from him anymore.
Like, so there's a beam, so that, oh, sorry, I totally missed that there was a dead druid. Okay, so that dead druid, is it like dead or like knocked out saving throw
He's
type?
about 60 feet from you, so you really don't have any idea.
All right, and I've already used my movements.
Well, you haven't done anything yet.
All right, I would like to move my piddly 25 feet towards that druid.
Okay.
So can I, is there any sense of life left?
Make a
that druid.
perception check for me.
Ah, why am I always never on what I want? Okay.
Always never on.
Nope.
Looking over, looks fairly badly injured. You don't see any sign of life at all. You are still a ways away though, but you don't. Looks motionless to you.
All right. I'm going to. Shit. Oh, I'm going to continue to dash and use Spare the Dying as a bonus action. So I'm going to use the other 25 feet. So I moved 50 feet and try and Spare the Dying at least on that.
All right.
Druid.
As you go, casting Sparing the Dying on the fly, you go and you just get this weird sort of like feedback of energy, like something has rushed them to beyond a point where they can come back.
Okay.
Like there was something unnatural in the process of how they died in the whole grand scheme of life or death.
Sure. Okay. Well, I've run out of actions, so I am done.
All right. So the one in the middle here is not dead. So they are going to... use their last remaining spell slot to cast Blight, targeted on the druid.
Uh, I would like to.
And they have cast the spell.
Can I counterspell?
You gotta be quicker than that.
I was trying to remember the name of the spell.
Gotta be quicker on the draw.
Okay, so I can't counterspell, is what you're saying.
You can. I say they're gonna cast the spell, and then you say counterspell.
Okay, but I can't counterspell right now, can I?
Correct. It's gotta
Well,
be
that was my
faster.
question, so thank you
Yeah.
for your sarcasm.
All right. So Constitution saving throw from the druid. 17 is a success. So they will take half of this damage. 39 halved is 19 to them, and
Am I within this?
it's a single target.
Oh.
And with thanks to the little bit of extra healing, clings to life with 2 hit points. So if you hadn't healed them, they would be dead right now. And goes and is going to use their movement to run in and make a spear attack, or 2 spear attacks on you. Or no, you, Roswell, you ran all that way. So this one's going to come at Nomarius, who is in the middle, making 2 one-handed spear attacks against Nomarius. First one will hit, and the second one, well, let's see.
It's 21. His AC.
Yeah. I just want to. So the first one is 36 damage, and the second one is 37 damage. So Numerius, as you run by, Roswell, you go out and you see the druid try to bring it back, and then you hear Numerius cry out as you whip around and you see just face down slides, tumbles over because he's running so fast. Going over towards the edge, and his body just comes to rest right on the edge of the ledge there, bleeding as the Gloomstalker turns its attention over to you and starts, looks like it's going to start heading in your direction. Kendra, you are up.
Agonizing Blast.
Okay. Hit. And miss.
So 2 hits.
15.
26.
26. And as it downs, Numerius turns, slams in once, twice, and topples it, and it just falls into kind of a heap there. We're now out of combat. Numerius has face planted down across the ground, lying on the edge, seemingly lifeless. You took a couple more hits there. And you are muted.
And I was muted.
Yeah.
Dang, I had some lucky points I was saving for this. Okay. Well, Shiza.
You're at
How-
My fault.
How far away is Nomarius right now from me?
I'm
About
running
six-
towards him.
It's about 60 feet from either of you.
Sorry, just let me. I'm gonna cast Healing Word on him if I am like immediately as soon as I see this. If I am, which is the distance on that is 60 feet. As soon as I see him go down, and I'm able to do so, I will cast Healing Word on him.
Okay. You may roll for healing.
This is another. No, actually, I'm gonna do this one at level 1. Sorry, Demarius.
It's fine. Comparatively, even at the highest level, it's not going to get me much of a percentage of my hit points back. Oh, look.
4.
I shall
All
be
right.
at hit points.
So, Numerius, you wake up and you kind of sit back and go to roll over, and one of your arms just goes over like the edge of the precipice to the cliff, and you just like look down. There's the gem spiral descent mine that just goes straight down below you, and you kind of slide over to one side away from it. But you are awake after taking 2 very strong stabs with the shadow spear in your side.
I would like to directly talking to the girl that I'm next to.
Yep.
My name is Akira. I'm here to protect you. You can do this. What's your name?
Annalyn.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Annalyn.
Annalyn. Annalyn, you are powerful. You are great. You can do this. This is for your people. I believe in you. I'm here to protect you.
I don't suppose you know how to do the ritual.
Yes.
I can help you however you want me to.
Well, I can't
What do you need?
seem to get the. It makes, and she kind of like holds up the scroll and walks over. She's like, I understand this part, but I don't. And she's just pointing. It's all sort of like arcane sigils and stuff, and it has a bunch of like little like notes that looks like they've been scratched in charcoal around it, and like certain things have been crossed out. And there it looks like there's one like sigil that's just been like frustratingly like circled, and she like points to it and hits the paper. She's like, I don't know what this means.
Can I read that, or do I know what that is?
Are you proficient in Arcana?
Good question. No, I'm not, but
You can channel divinity.
I can be. And I'm going to channel divinity.
All right.
Which is, you're fine, Roswell. It's my plan all along. And I would like to become an expert. And
you can become a proficient. You can't become an expect.
Damn it.
All right. So using channel divinity, pause for a moment and just you focus down in on it with the eyes of Athena guiding your gaze. Give me an Arcana check with your proficiency bonus.
Ooh. 6 + 4 is 10.
So, looking at it, it's definitely a sigil, and it appears like it is a vital part of performing the spell correctly. It is correct as written in the syntax of the spell, but you don't know, nothing comes to mind as to why that would be different or difficult in any way. So you don't really know. But that's definitely the one she should be casting.
Well, that's great. Looking around, is there anyone not perform the ritual around that is kind of close?
So of the 12, there were 6. There's now 5 that have lit up. So 5 people have successfully performed it.
But like anyone outside of the ritual, or are they all somewhere separate?
They were all over by sort of where all the women and children and all of that stuff were. And orcs and orc children.
About
backbone of our fighting force.
I'm trying to get her some help because I am not an expert and I don't know what that means. So I'm trying to get you some help. Just breathe, think. You can do this. I will get you some help.
She sort of just like looks up at the sky and like, fuck! And she kicks a rock off over the edge of the thing into the jump spiral descent and turns back and starts, you can tell, trying to begin to cast again. And you've almost memorized the first like few seconds of this ritual because you just watched her try it over and over and over again so many times, and she continues to go.
Missing a bracket or a brace.
Yeah.
Coding's hard.
Yeah, it is.
I'd like to sprint over to the area where other druids are to try and get someone that is knowledgeable in the arcane. I don't know, that could probably help her with the last part of the ritual.
Arcane druids. This is crazy.
I don't know.
The arcane magics are not something that we're trained in, hence the struggle can offer perhaps an embodiment of moral fortitude, but beyond that, I'm afraid I'm no good as an orc.
Okay. Great.
I mean,
I can't interrupt someone else.
You are a cleric, are you not?
Yes.
Can you not tap into your own divine magic to will this into existence somehow?
I don't know how I would do that. How do I do that?
I do not know. I've seen miracles happen before.
Can I mean, I can't do it myself.
I believe in you.
Well, of course, your deity would. I don't know. Like I said, this is not my.
But I am drawing a blank.
My field of knowledge. And as you kind of like start to freak out a little bit, he puts his hands like down on your shoulders, just like let your faith guide you. I'm sure you'll think of something.
Can do this. You're right.
You're like, wow, that's a really unhelpful thing to say to somebody trying to do things.
Thanks.
You got this. You got this, girl.
A fool I look like. All right, cool. I mean, okay. Somebody else to go. I think.
I'm gonna. How's the druid looking? Like she has 2 hit points.
Yeah, pretty beat up. She did lose the sort of concentration on the beam.
The will to live.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she got hit with blight, so she's looking like a unmoisturized, desiccated human being right now. But is sort of slowly trying to regain composure and begin, but you can tell her head is just reeling and.
Okay, I am going to give her one of my 3rd level healing words.
Use this wisely.
How if I did cancel instead of cast? Well, that was at least something besides a 1. 10 points of healing.
All right.
On that one.
You see her wounds begin to close more, and she kind of shakes out a little bit of the fog that's over, and you can see her eyes focus again, standing up. Thank you.
And I am going to go over to Nemarius and do a 4th level cure wounds on him.
Hello, Roswell. Here we are again.
Oh, this is like our friendship. You just take. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. This is what I'm here for.
Well, what I'm here for failed in spectacular fashion. The druid over there was eviscerated.
Yeah. I couldn't do anything there either. So now you've got 21 versus the
Plus 21.
36 I was going to try.
As you sort of stand, Roswell heals up a bit, Nemarius. You both kind of turn and look up into the sky as another one of these large orbs just lofts into the air. And as it gets sort of about overhead, like right above over the center, because it looks like it's trying to go all the way over to the other side, you just see an actual lightning bolt burst out from where Urabus is, and just in the form you see the cloudy sphere of it dissipate, and you just see these 2 bodies just and they stop in the motion, and they just kind of, you hear screams as they plummet down all the way. Takes several seconds for them to get all the way to the bottom, and you just hear 2 thuds there.
Little Wilhelm scream on the way down.
Yeah.
Pro tip, don't fall down the mine.
What would you all like to do?
Okay, so does someone need to replace that druid there?
That ritual is no longer being enacted. Is that correct, Casey?
It is. He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have an understudy, so
there's
clearly
no understudies in this. They're
No.
young, wild, and free here.
this is a so. Okay, I'm sorry. So so the 12 people were needed to complete this, or to make it as strong as possible.
To complete it.
To complete it.
So, who wants to volunteer?
Well, Kendra, hey, you have that thing on your arm. Does it ever, like when we were at the other elemental place, did that tingle or do anything, or?
No Kindred tingle?
It just looked great. And it still looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think
As always, we're focusing on the important things here.
Look, I could certainly try.
Well, the thing is that we don't really want any devil magic.
Well, look, there wouldn't be any devil magic anymore. I don't think. I'm not entirely certain how these things work.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, me and a small androgynous tree child made a deal.
Oh, as you do.
Yes.
That has clarified nothing.
Kendra, stop making deals. You've got to stop.
Look, I read a book once.
Fine print.
We need to have an intervention. We're worried about you. We're also worried about
This
us.
sounds awfully like a deal to me. I'm in.
Oh, for the love of God. Zip.
So what, you're breaking your bonds with your demon masters?
I've got to be honest, he wasn't the clearest chap. Said a lot of words that rhymed. It must have been from a script. And now, I feel better.
Get it out, Kendra. We're a little short on time.
Well, I mean, I was told once that you were the key, and I don't know to what. And damn it, that looks like a lock-sized thing. So maybe try it?
Sure, I'll try it. But if I die, I'm haunting you. And I'm gonna
You already
go over
do
there.
when you're living. There's no difference.
I don't hear this because I'm in ritual mode. I want to, try and read the thing and do the magic.
All right. So, going over there, you do find the scroll itself. Reading through it, you do comprehend what's going on. Make an Arcana check for me to see if you.
Wait, did my mom write this?
Arcana check. I'm gonna do my open luck. 14.
All right. So, with the aid of luck being bent in your favor, you do. Looking at it at first, you're like, "This is fine," and then you see this like ethereal finger just like point and tap the paper in front of you, and then like give you a thumbs up, and you go over and you reread through that portion, and the caveat for this is it's channeling basically all of the arcane energy you can muster. The more energy you put into it, the less energy other people have to put in, and the problem with that, or the danger in it, is that if it all sort of comes to an end immediately, all of that energy from everyone gets fed back out through it, which you have
Sounds amazing.
You have the general impression that with the amount of casters that are doing stuff, that is likely lethal.
If I'm going to do this, please don't let anything interrupt.
I'll protect you.
Yeah, we got this. It's gonna be okay. My spleen.
Okay. I'll
Doris muted. Doris muted.
Doors muted.
I'm going to go over to where Kendra is, but I'm also going to keep an active eye out for any more shadowy boys.
Oh, I'm going to put another death ward on Kendra.
How about a guidance?
I can do both.
How about
But a
both?
death ward, yeah. So death ward and yes, a guidance, both of those.
All right. So, are you attempting to perform the ritual, Kendra?
We're performing rituals.
All right. I would like you to make a roll with your spell casting ability, please.
That's not bad.
All right. Would you like to apply your guidance?
Yeah, I would. That's D4, right?
Yes.
And that's 20. Can I bend luck on top of that? Does that apply?
I don't know. It's your ability. What does it say?
Oh, I just did that assuming. Um, bend luck, ability check. Is this an ability check? I suppose it is.
This is an ability check, yes.
So 27 total.
27.
All right. So you go through, kind of read the ritual, and in true Kindred nonchalance, kind of just like look at it and just kind of put the scroll back down. You're like, I don't even need to refer to this. And you go and you begin casting, and all of a sudden you can feel the energy begin to coalesce in you. Casting this is going to consume all of your remaining spell slots.
Okay.
So you can cut it off now if you would like, but you immediately just feel all of that energy surge in what is a slightly jarring and instantaneously exhaustive experience, as you've never channeled that much energy that fast before. Would you like to continue?
Let's do it.
All right. So as you go up to release the energy, it surges into your fingertips, and we will take a short break.
Nice.
So 5 minutes, bio break, do what you need to do. We're at about the 2-hour mark here. So we will see what's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. Be right back.
BRB.
Gonna go write
See
my
y'all in a
death
little bit.
scene.
Aloha.
Aloha, we are back. So, Kendra, channeling all of the arcane energy available at your disposal up, coalesces into a beam and arcs up, sort of a dense, packed, central, basically, spire of energy up, and every once in a while, this sort of jolt of it convulses and sends like the spiral out, up, sparking off in different ways. And all of you are just sort of like initially blinded at seeing this going. And the central point where everything is joining up in the middle begins to take a more defined shape, as this energy, like the beam is much stronger than a lot of the other ones. And so it just sort of begins to grow at a much increased rate.
Is there a noticeable, I don't know, let's say hue? What kind of difference between the pure-looking beams the druids have been working with and this Kendra-esque chaos nightmare?
Kendra, what is your chaos nightmare beam colored?
My chaos nightmare beam color is neon orange.
Aha.
There you go.
So this Shervert attack into the sky. Do we know if that's good? Does anyone know? Is that okay? Is this going to ruin what the druids are doing?
It just means caution. Bright orange means caution.
And you do also realize, Kendra, that you are focused. This is something that requires concentration to maintain.
I'm trying to focus. You're all so loud and.
All right, so Kendra joining in. Akira, what?
I would like to divine intervention.
Oh. What kind
Stop
of
Kendra.
what kind
Stop
of
Kendra from doing what she's doing?
Vogue divine intervention would you like to do? What would you like?
That is the name of what I'm doing, right?
You were the one who said it.
To link it.
Yes.
No.
Finally
Yes.
contact your deity, and that's what you
That's
asked.
what I'm doing.
All right.
So I am calling out to Athena, O goddess of Athena, great and powerful civilization goddess. Please help the druids in this arcade nature perform this ritual successfully.
What about Kendra?
And Kendra.
And Kendra, I guess.
I like how you're concentrating, but you're still like, what about me?
Yeah, half a mile away on the other side of the thing. Yeah.
Kendra got so upset she left the camera.
Aww.
But thank God her camera placeholder is still there. That's all that really.
I really can't tell the difference.
And I failed because I wrote a 30.
Close though.
Yeah.
Closer
close.
than an 88.
Much closer than an 88.
You gotta keep swinging for the fences. Eventually, you will get it. So, did we lose you, Beth? It does seem that way.
She probably. I'm not gonna say that.
Yes. So, she lost her concentration. She's dead. This is like the Ring, guys. It happens IRL.
Hey, when I came back, I was face down. I'm just saying.
So, looking around.
Oh, good.
No, she dropped.
There she goes.
Dropped. Now we're all in different places, aren't we?
Who am I? Who do I get to be?
Everybody's half of somebody.
I
Still
will be.
half me.
I'm half Roswell, half Tebrin. Look at me. I'm
Ay, Dios
rude, but
mío.
charming.
Really,
I'm
on my
now-
screen, you're not half Tebrid, you're half Kindred.
I'm Casey now, and I say that the ritual is a success.
God, I hate us so much. Well,
She's starting her computer.
We're at the
Great.
tribe.
just
we're gonna
being
take another. Yeah. There we go.
There we go. I'm good. I'm good.
Everyone find the direction that they need to lean to be in their window. And
Wait, but I want to be you.
Oh no.
we
Now I'm
both,
Roswell.
We can both be.
Oh no, I'm Kitra.
Hi. This is really, really high quality streaming here. So we're gonna pause a moment for Beth to come back.
With a U, not a W.
So what do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about WoW Classic or the Star Wars trailer?
Oh no, 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 no,
No spoilers.
No.
Oh, hey, everybody in chat, just spoil it.
I like because the split screen, we can't really tell.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, we
'Cause,
can't see.
I put my headset over there. So
Right.
The only
Chat.
trailer I've been excited about is this new Dark Crystal one that just dropped.
Is that out yet?
The next trailer is. That's all I know about it.
Oh, because that's Netflix, right?
It is, which is strange because Disney owns the Muppets.
Interesting. Disney probably owns Netflix. We just haven't heard about it yet.
Oh,
They are the evilest of all
oh,
Oh,
creation.
Hello.
we're
Oh,
back.
now I really am Roswell.
We're in the wrong spots, but we're back.
Whatever your divine inspiration did, never let it happen again.
it kicked you out.
My PC went absolutely crazy. I heard Tamur's voice going nonstop for like 30
No,
seconds.
that's actually not your computer.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's just how I talk. What?
holy shit.
All right, we're back. We're in the right places.
People butcher my first name. I do that for 30 seconds at least.
All right, so now including Kindra, there are 7 of the 12 beams remaining. And looking around, Kindra, as you sort of channel in, a little bit of the energy kind of like ebbs and goes, and you can see it comes into the central spot and it sort of arcs off a little bit, and one of the other kind of spokes of this wheel that you're creating, the other druid who's one adjacent to you to your left sort of finishes their casting of the ritual at the same time. The arc kind of comes down to meet them, and they sort of catch it and hold it up there, and you can see actually that happens to another one kind of across the way to you. So currently there are 10 out of 12 spokes to the wheel. The 2 that are missing are currently the one that you are near, Akira, and then Rabis, who is currently using all of their attention fending off the remaining onslaughts of these dark tendrils coming in. What would you all like to do?
Is it possible for me to try and work out this arcane sigil?
Long
or no?
enough.
Definitely possible.
It'll be the long rest.
I'd like to try and work out the arcade ritual, the sigil, whatever she's struggling with.
Okay, do you want to actually try to perform the ritual, or you just want to try to figure it out to help her?
Ooh. Good question.
Do you need stressful music to decide?
Yes. Because that will make it 1,000% better. I'd first like to try and help her figure it out. And if that's not possible, then yes, I'll step in.
All right. So, how would you like to try to help her? You've already tried to go through and see if you could knowledge your way out of it. Ask for divine intervention. Unfortunately, neither of those has been able to pan out for you.
Is there anything in the notes about it that would give me a hint to what it is? Like, I'm not exactly sure. Is she chanting? Is it like a chanting ritual and she just doesn't know the words?
It's a combination of sort of gestured somatic components, as well as there is a verbal component to it. From what you could tell from your Arcana check, she seems to be like saying the right things. They're either just not quite timed correctly with the gestures, or the gesture is not quite right or something when she gets to that part. So everything just kind of fizzles and just poofs when she does that. And you also, just from observing her, she is young and she doesn't have a lot of like energy, magical power in her yet. So she also kind of struggles, and this is a bit beyond the level that she should actually be capable of. So she's trying to accomplish things beyond her means.
I don't know if this will help her, but I'll cast guidance on her. And then
certainly help.
I will try and work out the gestures and maybe the timing with the notes.
All right, give me a intelligence investigation if you can go through and sort of searching through the notes, see if there's some combination of things you can pick up, because the notes look like they are there's some scratch that are like in her hand, which are basically just frustrated doodles, but there are like other sort of whoever wrote all this out did include some instructions there.
I'm just not rolling well, and I rolled a 7.
All right. So going through, it's just
I just
not,
can't work this
it's
out.
just you're starting to get just as frustrated, and she looks over it. She's like, "See, it's not possible. They wrote it down wrong. There's no way that we can do this."
Is there a
like
beam close to me that I can go and maybe try to study that person to try and figure out what it is they're doing?
Yeah, the one sort of back anti-clockwise from you is beamed, and Urabis is the only other one who doesn't have a beam, and she's the next one to the left adjacent from you.
Okay, I'll go to the nearest beam and try and study their movements and timing and whatnot.
All right. Going through, looking at it, their movements are substantially more sort of crisp and confident in what they're doing. They already have their beam established. They're just kind of maintaining it, but it is somewhat of a repetitive process, and you guys see Kendra doing the same thing. The way that Kendra is casting it looks, it's a bit more like if you're watching musicians play music and like some of them are just kind of like sight reading through things. It doesn't feel like there's like the natural flow or progression to what they're playing. But Kendra is just sort of like there's a connectivity to all the motions that give it like a whole ritual thing. You can't see Kendra, unfortunately, Akira, but the man you're watching go through all of this, his movements are very sort of like defined. He stops, moves to the next thing, goes, stops, moves to the next thing. So you kind of pick up all of the isolated motions going through with that. So after 5 or so minutes of observing, you kind of can go and commit the commit them to memory, as you are sort of still proficient in Arcana from your channel divinity.
Okay.
Well, in the time that she's taking to do that, would anyone else like to do anything?
Is there any more healing, maybe, Roswell? Or
Yes.
I
There is
I can also expend my healing. I was just trying to save it for the corruption.
and that druid was next to us was pretty down too, correct?
Yeah. She has gotten managed to get the ritual back up and going, so.
All right.
She doesn't look great, but she's not on death's door at the moment.
I can give you another 3rd level cure wounds, Nemarius.
Whatever you can spare will, of course, be appreciated.
All right.
I tend to think that this armor is not long for my possession. I need to find something more magically attuned, as this is just plate armor. 17.
I look down at my studded armor. I go, yeah, your armor's terrible.
Yes.
All right.
I run toward the spears with this.
Hey, do you I feel like I'm gonna be in protection mode here. Do you feel like you want to take a key sword, or do you want me to charge in while you're distracting things? Or does it matter? Tebrin has another one.
Do you mean one of the uncharged ones? Because of course I have
Yes.
my electric boogaloo one right here.
I know you do. But I feel like I need to protect Kendra because she's powering this right now.
Well, then I will take the sword from you, and if somebody else would be a better host, I will find them. But
Okay.
for now, I will bear the burden happily.
All right. So mine was the short sword, I think.
Oh.
But it's just for charging, though. Like, it's not,
So it's the length of me. Great. Gotcha.
Hey!
No, the sword I'm using is probably longer than I am.
It's a claymore. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a short sword.
So,
Marshall,
as you guys are sort of like looking at swords and like holding them up to compare to Nemarius, you hear this resounding like thud, and then you hear a muted kind of chanting, which doesn't take you but a moment to realize is sort of the feeling that you can't stop that's surrounding you. Is chanting of the orc tribes, and you start hearing the footfalls of battle as the army just starts to begin to close in around this. As this happens, Akira, the girl next to you, she basically starts bawling, crying, as frustrated, and she just sort of looks at you exasperated and just drops to her knees sobbing. Rabus kind of turns looking towards you, Nomarius and Roswell, as you guys are sort of close, and Tebrin there, and says, "We have to do this. I need to merge in with the ritual, and whatever happens will happen. But if we are to make it before they attack and have enough time, we have to go now. We must complete the ritual."
So are there 2 more slots left or 1 more?
2 more. Rabus is one of them.
So we just need 1 more.
I'm going to pick her up and move her, and I will attempt the ritual. Oh!
All right. I need you to go ahead and make a roll with your spell casting ability,
I'll find a gift that has taps in it.
which is wisdom.
Can you use guidance on yourself?
I was about to ask that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll drop guidance from her and I'll cast it on myself. And
Right.
and so that's just a D20 plus my spellcasting?
Yes.
Plus your wisdom. Yeah.
Plus my not spellcasting, wisdom.
Yeah. So wisdom, D20 plus wisdom plus whatever your guidance will be.
Oh. Okay.
So it's just a straight wisdom roll.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well I guess that makes it easier. Plus it. Oh my god, I just can't roll. This okay.
All right, and plus your.
Yeah. This just sucks.
7 and 8. So, you go to perform the ritual, and lucky enough for you, you don't get far enough into it to actually connect in with the energy that's there. If you roll high enough, but you don't quite get there, you connect, but you can't control the energy, and it feeds back on you. But you didn't quite roll high enough, so that's
I'm sprinting.
Yeah, you all see Akira channel up a bunch of energy and just like flashes out. This does consume a first level spell slot, Akira.
Okay.
This attempt to do it. And
I'm sprinting, skidding in next to her, elbowing her out of the way a little bit, and I am going to try to do this fucking thing.
All right. As you are going, Rabis sort of takes her position in the other one. She fends off one last of the tendrils, and you can see her just begin casting, and then just like instantaneously go up. As this happens, Kindra, you are hit with a surge of energy and power that you have never felt before, and it feels amazing.
Oh yeah.
And you get the sense that like Rabis is powerful beyond even what you had guessed, and you had guessed that she was some sort of powerful archdruid. But the rest of you see the orb sort of portal in the center just almost triple in size. It's now about half the diameter of the mine itself, and you do, however, see one tendril like lashing on into that center, and then another one is snaking out, coming back in from the black. All right.
Can I try and hit one with a guiding bolt?
You can definitely try to hit one. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
I am casting as we're doing this.
Okay.
Or
so
trying
that's spell casting.
So charisma.
Ability,
Can I get a guidance off somebody?
I'll start sprinting.
Yeah, I'll do it for
I
you.
can then replace when Akira. I'm sorry, when Tebrin doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Start there.
Here we fucking go.
So as the second of those tendrils comes up, Cookie, you turn towards it and just slam into it right as it's about to kind of latch on. It just fractures, and this radiant energy just cascades all the way back it, and you manage to fend off that as you go. You can see also the orcs that were your friend are starting to fan out, and as orcs are starting to come in, they begin to sort of take up positions around and start defending. One flips off one of the incoming orcs and flips them over their shoulder into the pit below. As you hear another scream, followed by a very fast thud, and then rolling as they just begin to fight. And it seems like everybody is kind of out in force now. Tebrin.
I am rolling now.
Oh,
yes!
Right. Natural 20. Excellent.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna elbow him out of the way. I'm in there.
All right. So
And guidance on top of that, just for the fucking hell of it.
it may matter. All right.
You can't have it all, right?
Yeah. So
Only 28.
as you as you go, Tebrin, Akira kind of like puts her hand on your shoulder, and you go and you begin casting, and the moonblade itself kind of, you can feel it like kind of like pulsing, and you have this energy, and all of a sudden you get this like flashback, and you just see of a world before the civilizations that you knew, tapping sort of back into ancient times of the Rirakul and all of that. It's like you witness the life and death of a civilization in an instant, and then all of that sort of pent up energy and emotion just bursts out into the energy that meets in, and those of you who are not concentrating on not getting killed by energy notice that the this swirling mass in the center now expands out to about the size of the actual Gem Spiral Descent pit itself, and inside you can start to see that there are images and forms of just a giant mountainous landscape, all of sort of deep earthen hues in it, and then you see this almost like comet of shadow energy streak across the sky and then slam into the center of it.
There's no interruption, maybe? Or
what would you like to try to do?
With the, it's not a tendril, it's just complete shadow, or
no, it is the largest of the attacks you've seen, and it's not a tendril going up. It is this huge seeming mass of just shadow energy that looks like a comet or a meteor has just flown out and smashed into this. Doesn't look like it's destroyed it. It looks like it's gone into it.
I don't know if that'll work. Can I sacred flame a shadow? A cloud?
You get the sense that it's much too massive for sacred flame to have any sort of effect on it.
All right, what about guiding bolt?
You can try to guiding bolt it if you would like.
Yes. If I can find my thing. Oh, I just can't roll tonight. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm useless.
Arcs up. The girl who is standing behind you just sort of like pats you on the shoulder.
Yes, this has been a rough day. Thank you.
So, Tebrin and Kindra, the instant that force impacts in, you suddenly just sort of, and you see them, their eyes go blank, and you see yourself standing in a large circle out on this giant plain. Stretches as far as the eye can see, all sort of dried earth, just completely featureless, standing in a circle, much closer than you were around, sort of maybe about 10-15 feet, and you see each of the druids standing there. And in the center is this crater that's steaming up with shadow energy, and rising up from the center of it comes the Whisperer. And you're all sort of holding the energy together like you were linking hands, and it forms all the way around in a circle. And you immediately get the sense that you can't sort of connect through the middle because he has stopped and is blocking it. And he begins to chant something, completely ignoring you, just chanting out
Ooga, ooga.
Some type of ritual. What do you guys do?
Do I feel like if I, say, throw a dagger at this man, it will disrupt this ritual?
You get the sense that you're not corporeally where you are. This is almost like an astral projection. So physical means of attack may not have the same kind of influence on it.
This is using all my magic, right?
Yes, you've consumed all of your spell slots.
So based on what you just said, do you mean physical as in anything within this plane, or like that magic would work? I know the word magic is sort of vague.
You are beyond your realm of understanding, and you don't really understand where you are. other than it's some sort of connection between what you're doing in the material plane and elsewhere. But what you are perceiving right now doesn't appear to be happening on the material plane.
And this is like a very weird and general question, but can I like feel what he's doing through the magic?
Go ahead and make an insight check for me.
$13.
And my roll 20 has frozen. Excellent. 13, did you say?
Yeah. Okay, +9.
So, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties.
That's the name of our group.
Yeah, pretty much. Streaming's hard. There we go.
Oh.
All right.
I have a question. So this drained all of my spell slots, right?
Correct.
Did it drain anything else?
What do you mean?
Do I have sorcery points?
Would you have chosen to put all of that sort of energy in?
Yes.
All right, then you do not have them.
Okay. I'm gonna try and agonizing blast him. Just to see.
All right. Make an attack roll, and you do realize that by doing this, you will break the circle because you're all essentially arcanely holding hands.
Okay, yeah, then I wouldn't. Like, when you asked, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I sort of thought that the ritual had like lulled or something.
Yeah. No, it's still going, and the outward appearance of all of this is that there's just this portal here, and right into the center of it, this orb of shadow has smashed, and all of them are just there holding their beams up, and the orc horde is now coming in towards you as you all immediately have to basically take up arms as they come crashing in upon you like a wave.
So in the center of the circle from where, like, so I'm sitting kind of right, like, just beside Kendra.
Yeah.
How many feet to the center of that circle that I did see an orb fall into there, correct?
So the circle goes around the gem spiral descent. So it's half a mile in radius. And all of these beams kind of go up, and the portal is just above the center of it.
So the center is a half a mile. This radius.
Yeah. The center is a quarter of a mile away, but it's above like the center of the giant crater that is the mine. So there's no ground underneath it.
Do I get a sense of what would it be like to pass through this?
Make an Arcana check for me.
Okay. Roswell disintegrates. I'm gonna.
What?
So this is what they've essentially done is basically ripped a hole in the material plane and connected it to somewhere else, except when the shadow comet basically hit it, it interrupted whatever the final sort of reach through, and you saw a glimpse of what you could only assume was the earth elemental plane forming as the shadow hit it. But now that has not coalesced, and everything's just sort of in this weird state of in-betweenness. Make an intelligence check for me, just straight up intelligence. All right, so
my parents left me a good book, apparently.
yeah, putting things together from this, and from the appearance of those other creatures, You're guessing that basically the Whisperer is trying to hijack this ritual and connect to a different plane. And he wasn't able to do that by tainting the magic, so he's basically throwing himself in it in the last-ditch effort to try to subvert this. I'll leave it to your imagination what he's trying to connect to.
I have a guess or two.
Yeah, I do too.
Kendra and Tebrin, inside...
What did my 13 get me?
On insight?
Yes.
So you're trying to
Buckets.
insight what his...
No, I'm trying to get a sense of the magic. Like, does it feel like I can somehow manipulate or affect the tenor of the magic? Like, if this guy is coming in and trying to corrupt it, do I feel like...
You feel that right now you're kind of in a space beyond the normal laws which sort of define how things work.
Okay.
Which is way out of the realm of any expertise.
Okay, I'm gonna... Can I, like... Do I feel like I can step over and, like, grab Kendra's hand without, like, disrupting the ritual?
You can certainly try.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
All right.
And then I'm going to try to think of, like, everything about... He's just gonna try to think about, like, everything about, like, the plane and his life and the world as it is that he loves. And so he's gonna think about Kendra and Roswell, and he's gonna think about Siora, and he's gonna think about, like, every weird kind of bar that he's gone to and heard some sort of, like, weird story that, like, maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't, but, like, it kind of sparked something off for him in his imagination. And all of those brief moments in Eridor where, like, in between everything getting blown to hell, like, he was part of something and it was larger than him and it mattered. And he's at the end of it, he's going to think all the way back to when he was still at home, and he's going to try to remember what it was like when his sister was still there, and she, like, what it felt like to be loved like that and to feel like a single place and a single person could be home. And he's going to try to focus on all of that and see if he can affect the tenor of the magic around.
And Kendra, you immediately sort of start to feel what Tebrin is doing. It's not like you can exactly read his thoughts, but you can like, the vibe of the energy is changing slightly, coming just from Tebrin. Do you change or do anything different?
Do I change or do anything different? I mean, all I'm doing right now is pumping magic in, right? I guess if the question is what Kendra would be thinking about, she would more be thinking about all of the people along the way that are either no longer talking to her or no longer around. So everybody that was in Eridor at the time, so Nofnor's dog, Namaris's dog.
That's it!
Arisha's,
That's it! You crossed the line!
Arisha's wolf.
Arisha's dog.
It's a lot of animals, but there's some people in there too. And yeah, just thinking about those people.
Right. Good.
I want to cast. See, this is where the distance is fucking me up on this.
It's a long way.
It is. If I could cast Blessed on the two of them and on Erebus, I know it's far.
I mean, Kendra is standing right next to you.
I know she is, but I get to do it on 3 people, and I'd like to do it on 3 people if I could. If I can't reach them, then the 2 other druids near me.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I want to
you can
send
sort
this
of run and touch a couple of them.
lovely radiant light. I don't need to touch them. I don't think it's got a distance of.
Yeah.
You if you want to touch them, you touch them.
I don't want to touch you.
Mid ritual.
Don't no, I'll make that.
Actually, that's not a bad question. Are there any of these thralls that no longer have connection to somebody?
They all are basically, you're in the midst of kind of fighting them off. The orcs are coming in and attacking.
But are they the thrall orcs, or are they just orcs that are just like, poorly aligned with their?
You never really saw the bulk of the orc army. So it does. I mean, it doesn't. They're not like shadow creatures. They look to you like orcs, but they are definitely trying to interrupt the ritual.
Well, yeah, that follows.
Yeah.
I'm just
So yeah, they don't look like they're particularly thralled, but it's so hard to tell. They are kind of just mindlessly attacking.
Okay. Yeah, then we'll just continue to fight. Yeah. I will wonder though, does anyone have magic that can get me physically to that glowy globe in the middle? I'm gonna ask Roswell. Sorry, Roswell. Do you have a way to catapult me magically? Toss me.
I'm so against that.
But the black stuff went inside. It's got to be purified.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out if I could put anything in there, but it's too far.
Do we have a hot air balloon available to us?
Why did you not list that amongst our assets?
Yeah.
A Holocaust cloak.
With my roll, one of the questions I had, and I apologize, there's a lot going on, and I can't remember if I got the answer to it. Is going in there going to damage us?
So right now, there's no way for you to get there because it's over the center of this half-mile diameter crater, which is, you've been told, a mile deep.
What a dumb place to do a fucking ritual.
Well, the whole point is it's recharging the...
I know. I'm being facetious. Just, they don't know how to plan a party, that's all.
Back inside, what is going on?
Hang on, I do want to get my bless off, though.
Okay, yeah, so you're going to bless...
I'm going to bless Kendra and the two druids, bookending, and it's lovely, positive, radiant, energy just coming to just help out any way I can.
Do this?
Because I'm feeling helpless right now, and this is the best I can do.
All right. So, Tebrin and Kendra. The area sort of out in the periphery is dark. It's not shadowed, but it is dark beyond you can see. And you both hear a high-pitched roar, screeching noise. And then followed by another, much deeper, one that reverberates the whole area. And then you see it. Tebrin, you see this first off in the distance, and then you kind of nudge over to Kendra, and Kendra, you look up, and you see a pair of piercingly blue eyes. Very large. And then slightly smaller, but down alongside them, white. As you see the silhouettes of two creatures. This is off in the distance, sort of pacing about just on the edge of the threshold of where you can see, in the form of two dragons. Just sort of pacing about.
And they're white dragons?
No. The eyes are white and blue, but the forms are, as you kind of try to focus your eyes on them, both of their bodies are black in color, but as their wings would kind of taper off into just something thin, they taper off into pure shadow. And then the glint of something metallic catches your eye on the bottom of one of their legs. And it looks as if the smaller of the two, the one with the piercing white eyes, is wearing some sort of gauntlet.
Oh shit.
Tavern doesn't know anything about this.
Holly apparently not realizing.
So
I
In-
don't know what to do.
in contesting, so we were as adding things out. So I want you to make a just straight charisma roll. And Kendra, if you would like to contribute to this,
By making a charisma roll, or
well, you can choose your attribute. I recommend choosing something that you're good at. And
all right,
you will,
strength.
you'll be contesting the
Ugh, yuck.
You're
You'll-
blessed.
you'll be contesting the roles of the Whisperer here.
Is plus D4 or D6?
D4.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so the rolls are 12 total and a 6.
Well, hold on. No, I'm not blessed. So yeah, just a 6.
So, as you go trying to focus on this, the jarring presence of the two dragons' appearance just goes, and you see from the darkness this sort of like shadow starts drifting in, like a rolling fog start advancing, not all the way to the circle, but it's closed the distance about halfway, and you see the young other druids there that have performed the ritual too. One of them, a young man, starts looking around, and you can see there's just panic in his eyes, and he drops his hands and he turns and begins to run out. And without hesitation, the smaller of the two dragons just darts into the shadow and then pulls out. And as he sort of nears the edge, you just see this head come down and pin him to the ground, and then it like sort of looks up at you, and this huge toothy grin goes as it has one of its hands with the giant gauntlet on it that you can see just looks like the claw was just completely encased in metal, as it goes down and just pulls off one of the arms, just throws it, and then digs in and rips off one of the legs, and then just closes its talon around it and just drags it into the shadow while he's still screaming. And you can just hear muffled screams there. Those on the outside can see shadowy wisps start coming from the portal as it looks like it's turning towards darkness ever so slightly.
Ah! Roswell, what do we do?
You
It doesn't look like it's going well.
You guys have one failure.
I want to go.
Out of
I want to
one?
go home.
Nope.
No, what should we do? Not what do we...
You asked me what I wanted to do, and I'm being perfectly honest. Okay, what? All right. So do we see a hole that opened?
You can definitely see the portal. You can't see this stuff going on inside because it's not like literally inside the portal. It's just the connectivity of all the energy is letting them sort of project into each other's minds.
That's not what I asked. Do we?
Oh
see
my god, I have it.
the person? So the person that broke away. Do we see the hole? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
you see that light sort of flicker and then go out, and you just see rather violently the energy just comes back, and the person just like explodes in this just like burst of blood and ichor across the ground.
okay.
Don't love that.
Go ahead, Namiris, what are you gonna say?
I have a rather extremely risky thought, I guess, really.
Okay.
If these swords can be charged by the energies, can we focus to draw out the shadow?
I don't know, man.
All right, well, it might be too far anyway, but here's me looking like a fool holding up a key sword that's not charged, trying to aim it at that big old globe in the sky, seeing if I can't maybe focus on, I don't know, those wispy shadows that have just appeared.
All right. Are you aiming the uncharged key sword?
Correct. I am trying to draw the shadow out of.
All right.
No. Just charge it with regular energy. Ooh.
So
If I charge it with regular energy, the shadow remains and wins.
Unsheathing it, you pull it out and direct it there. As you do, there's a tendril gets pulled towards it and hits onto the sword. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as just overwhelming wave of just negative energy hits you to see if you can hold on.
All right. Yeah, let me just go ahead and make that roll. Here's the being super important number 5 rolled for 12 total.
Do you have a luck point?
I do have luck points. You're a very good point. It's a very good point. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to use the natural 20 instead.
Woo! All right. So it hits you, and you recoil a bit, and Akira, you see Numerish like stagger back several steps in this as you have it, and you pull, and it seems like it rips out the tendril into the sword itself, and the sword just sort of like pulsates with this dark black energy sort of coiling around it.
Well, we got to destroy this now, but let's see what happens.
You now have one success. As those of you on the inside don't really see what happens, but the Whisperer sort of cries out much louder than his chanting in anguish, and just turns and starts glaring and looking around. The dragon figures kind of pace back into the shadow as the shadow recedes a little bit more.
So there's still more tendrils I can see from the outside, correct?
The ones that had sprung out as a result of the previous failure have now been absorbed, so it's kind of back to a neutral portal state.
Okay, so there's no more visible.
And an MPS.
But we can see the shadow portal? That's what we're...
You can
No,
see it's
okay.
like a neutral portal right now. You don't know where it's connected to. Whereas before Numerius did that, it looked like it was bending towards connecting to the Shadowfell.
We don't know that. What are you saying?
Or bending to connect towards the shadow or dark. It wasn't good. It was
Before it fell. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can
Shadow Rise.
pinpoint where this is coming from?
Where the portal is coming from?
Or the source, I guess.
The source of the portal is the ritual.
No, okay. I don't know how to explain
We
that.
cannot see from the outside. We cannot see the shadowy stuff happening on the inside.
Correct.
It's in the middle of a half-mile-long crater, or wide.
Slightly out of reach of your jump.
But just slightly.
You can
Just
certainly try.
And a little
Not really
bit.
what I mean. I don't know. I'm honestly at a loss, and my rolls just freaking suck, so I don't know what to do.
But it's just panic.
Yes. Panic.
I have something I would like to try.
Yes.
Okay, so my reading on this is that while it is linked to his magical power, it is not a spell or anything that... It's him being able to naturally draw the power, like the Song of Creation, into his words. Do I get the sense that I can do this without disrupting the ritual?
Yeah. I will allow it.
Okay.
Wait, you're singing a song?
Well, no, Teprin doesn't sing.
Speakbox.
I'm going to start doing this, and what I'm going to do is, instead of now just thinking it out loud, he's going to start talking loud enough so that all of the druids in the circle can hear him. And he's going to start weaving a story about how we win. And just like weaving this tale where we are able to tie ourselves and ground ourselves in what is real and in what we care about, and in which we're able to like throw the Whisperer out of this and push back whatever the fuck these dragons are, and that we're able to revitalize the land, and the land becomes this living, growing thing like it hasn't been in all of these years. And I think he's also like, he's thinking about the City of Souls too as he's talking about this. Just like kind of laying one hand on the Moonblade as well, and just like weaving this idea of the land kind of growing up and becoming green and fertile again, and maybe beginning to like remove some of the curse, like this idea of like of life overcoming undeath and new beginnings even in the face of things that feel impossible. And he's just like, that's the story he's going to tell.
All right. And as you begin telling this story, you can see some of the other druids nodding along in agreement, and you kind of scan the faces as you're kind of through your performance making eye contact with everyone, and Urabes has like a single kind of tear just start dripping down, and then she kind of grits her teeth, and you can feel this surge of energy go through as she sort of cries out, as you can tell that she's throwing like the last of her life force in with this. And that will give you advantage on it, but will kill Urabes. Make a performance check for me.
At advantage?
At advantage.
This is one of the... He's a fucking bard that isn't proficient in performance. Okay.
If you want to, are you proficient in persuasion? You could also use persuasion if you would like.
Please, God, let me use persuasion.
It actually did sound more persuasive.
Yeah, it is persuasive. It says performance in the thing.
You're persuading the world to let us win.
22.
Make a roll. This is a contested roll against the Whisperer.
By the people, for the people. Casey, roll your bluff check.
I hate you. With my whole heart right now.
So, as the last surge of energy comes from Urabes, crying out, and then as she begins to fall, first the Whisperer's attention is turned to her, and then back to you. And as you punctuate the last word in your statement, that energy courses through the entire rest of the circle and then surges between all of you, connected through the story, and just goes right through the center of the Whisperer. And there's sort of a paused breath moment as he turns and just looks, and then top half of his body just sort of slides off and slams in as the area around you lights up. And you can see now sort of fast approaching scenery of giant mountainous regions coming. And then all of a sudden you look and you kind of feel consciousness come back into you as you start to maintain it, as those of you inside the thing begin to see this basically just giant avalanche of earth and earthen material coming towards you. In a fast progression, there's a noticeable surge of bright energy that just erupts like a supernova out of the top of all of this, and with that, everyone fighting around the circle just sort of stops for a second as this monumental explosion happens. And then you see from the portal, as the beams going up into it begin to fade, the portal stays open, and from it, at first a trickle of a few stones begin to fall, and then followed by more and more earth and mud, and then rocks, and then boulders, and then sides of mountains tumbling in. And as you watch this flow of material down in, you start to see glints of things catching your eye that are metallic in hue, just tumbling down in, falling, and you catch more and more of them going in, as you can see that the gem's spiral descent just begins to slowly fill back in, as few more seconds go by, you can see it's now punctuated with bright pockets of color as gemstones of all shapes and sizes and colors through the spectrum just tumble in, filling in everything.
Going in.
As the level fills more and more, shards of this large sort of crystalline materials that just slam in, that looks foreign to the material plane, but is going. And after about 30 seconds of this, the ground shaking and rumbling, most of it is filled, and the portal starts to begin to flicker and destabilize as all of a sudden it just closes, and all of the people who are involved in the ritual casting of it, you can just feel like the last bit of the energy was just sort of like pulled out of you, like knocking your breath out, and you just sort of, and it pushes out into it, and then there's just this pocket of just absolute silence and stillness, and all of the orcs around sort of ready themselves to move into attack. And Numerius, you see one come up at you to swing, and then the ground opens up beneath him, and it just gets pulled down underneath. And you see this happening again and again. A horde of them go up to make an attack on one of the other druids, and there's this big tumultuous rout of boulders and earth and debris just cover them over, burying them whole. And one by one, the ground consumes the remaining orcs that were...
I wonder if the ground distinguishes which orcs, because those ones over there were good.
We like those ones.
You can see that
Sorry.
the ones from the tribe that was helping were not part of the collateral damage here. And then as finally quiet goes over everything, you can see there's just this rising level of dust and debris from it. As you look out across, you can see Kendra on the opposite side of where you are, the ground rocky and broken between you, but flat. The gem spiral descent mine, no longer a mine, and filled.
So who had the other sword? Did we get that one charged? What's up?
I have it. I have the rapier key sword.
So, looking down at it, sword is not charged.
Okay.
You do see towards the center of all of this, there's a collection of all of those crystals.
Okay.
They're like 8 or 10 feet tall, just these giant sort of prismatic, almost quartz-like looking things. They just sort of throb with energy.
I am going for that.
Yeah, and it
Drawing
doesn't.
the sword as I go.
Yeah, it doesn't take very close proximity to get there, and you can just feel the energy. Sort of, it definitely there's substantially more energy than the sword could ever consume, and it charges very readily.
Okay. And then once Tebren does that, he will resheath it and very calmly walk over to wherever Kendra and Roswell are. And then he's going to kind of just like collapse and like sit down and put his head on Kendra's shoulder and just start sobbing. And in all the time you've traveled with Tebren, like you've seen him upset, you've seen him pissed. He cried a bit like after Eridor, but you've never seen him like completely lose control like this. And he's just...
So I see him collapsed on Kendra. What was going on in there?
Whisper man was trying to take it to a darker place. But we didn't let him.
Okay, so that's good news. There's other news. Hey, Nemarius, do you want to bring over your sword?
I'm not touching that thing. I dropped it.
Yeah, you can see the shadow coming off of it is almost like steam rising from. Like,
Yeah. Matter of fact,
just coming
Akira,
out,
I could
yeah.
use your assistance.
I can try, but I'm just saying.
Look,
Nothing.
you're far more devout than I am, having lived half of my life as just a man-at-arms. So you probably, I'm going to defer to you because I don't have the knowledge, but in an attempt to stop whatever was occurring, I focused and maybe successfully absorbed some of the evil that was up in that orb. And it is now in this sword, charged in a manner that it was never meant or intended to be. So how would you purge such an evil? Surely you've read about this. It's probably commonplace.
Shadow swords.
I think from
Don't let Tevin find out about this sword.
what we learned, do I recall it can only be destroyed through the eternal flame, or is that's only where it can be forged?
That's where the swords are forged. You're not sure if that can destroy them or not.
Do I think that just regular draconic fire could destroy it, or would it have to be something divine?
You know that magic items are incredibly tenacious towards any sort of kind of more normal forms of damage, and this is an incredibly ancient type of magic that's infusing this. It does, as you're thinking through this, it does strike you as really strange as to why and how an elemental sword can absorb shadow.
Mm-hmm. Do I get the sense that... Okay, no, I'm not. I want to do something that's kind of could be risky.
Just before we do anything risky, does it matter if there's shadow in the sword? Provided it opens the door? I mean, is it shadow and earth, or is it just shadow, right?
Usually when we talk about elementals, shadow's not one of them. It's not
Right.
like...
But is there elemental in there with a bit of shadow, or is it all shadow?
I mean, maybe this whisperer is a servant to Agthuman. He's kind of elemental, right? I mean, these are his swords. Not his swords, but he gave
They are his doing.
Yeah, he gave them he put it in their head to create these swords. So this could all be from him, maybe. But I don't know if he's necessarily an elemental.
I'm no expert, but I have two prevailing thoughts immediately in my head. One, that the Whisperer, the creatures I just fought, did not act like undead, did not act like fiends, but may have been a corrupted form of elemental. And so the sword was able to absorb it as elemental. Or two, as Akira has just said, it might be a means from which Agthuman intended to trick, adding yet another element that should not be. I have no answers. These are just my initial thoughts about it.
So...
And I don't know that what I did affected what was inside that orb. Apparently, it was very trying for all of you, and I'm glad that you were able to do what you did, but I'm also worried. Some of the druids are starting to report like fatalities.
Yeah, there was definitely people dead in this, and obviously, Rabus, a lifeless body, has kind of been collected by the druids now. Several of the other druids that took up arms, sort of the ones that were in the safe haven that were forced to fight, were slain. The orcs took some casualties.
I'll just ask your opinion. So you know how I can like kind of identify things and see, what kind of energy, power, spells, exactly what it is. Maybe, but that does require me touching the item and spending time with the item a little bit. I don't know if you think it's worth it for me to do it, but I would like to try. Maybe I could get some sort of information.
I can support that pursuit.
Okay. I would like to cast Identify as a ritual on the Shadow Sword.
All right, so you're going to touch it?
I'm going to touch it.
All right. You can reach out and pick it up just as any other sword. Feels a bit colder to the touch, and you should as you begin to cast Identify. For the next period of 10 minutes, just sort of sitting and acclimating yourself to it. It's revealed that the sword itself does now harness properties that enable it to do necrotic damage in addition to the actual damage of the sword. And it also hastens the process towards death. Things struck down with this, basically, it possesses the same properties that the shadows themselves possess in hurrying a creature towards death. And as you go through and touching it, you can see that there is an inscription on the blade, which none of you had seen before on it. And it is the inscription just coiling around the blade itself, all the way up in the form of a serpent. And the end of the serpent seems to just be like consuming the bottom of the hilt itself. Uh-huh. And written in the weave of the serpents itself, starting at the point working in, it says, "Wield driving force of earth and hammer, melt the world fluid under forging flame. Stoke the tempest to rip and slash. Creation quench to smooth permanence." And then as it reaches, written across the crossguard of the hilt itself, it says, "All from shadow risen, all again to shadow submerge."
Can you say that again?
All from shadow risen, all again to shadow submerge.
Akira, stop grinning.
I'm not grinning.
You're writing in a book, you're grinning.
Sorry, I can't help it. So I think that's the part that says "all from shadow risen, all again to shadow submerge." I think that I think it is something to do with that Agumon guy. I don't know. That seems like him. I don't know if you agree or not. And
all of this is to do with him.
So this snake also is...
What's on your arm?
Uh-huh.
It's not just my arm, but it's sort of everything.
Yeah.
So this sword is yours, really, I guess.
Great. I suppose I'm a fighter now.
Well, also, are you an instrument of him?
I'm an instrument of me. And even I don't play me that well. You get what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I usually don't.
Yeah, is this something
Everyone's
that
like not looking up, and he's still just like, never try to control Kendra. It's a... Mhm. You're fucked before you even begin.
so proud of Kendra
I'm
and
proud of
you, Tebrin? But is this something that should be destroyed or should be kept? I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
If we destroy it, we have to go back and forge 4 keys again.
Right.
1?
They have to be forged at the same time, I believe.
Oh.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, am I
I don't.
pulling that? Can anyone confirm or deny?
That sounds
never understood
terrible
how
for you
sports
guys,
worked.
but yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, then let me just.
So this is right. If we destroy it, you know what that means, right?
We've done everything for nothing.
Well, yes, that first. But secondly, we have to go and do the thing you guys didn't want to do to begin with.
What's that?
How many druids are around me?
There are a lot of druids around.
You know, the old shanky shank on the goody
Right.
naked thing.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no. I never agreed with that. Ever.
What?
We can't destroy
That,
this.
I know you didn't agree with that. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if you destroy the sword, how else are we going to get elemental energy?
Steal the heart back from the Dracor Empire.
No.
Alternatively, generally, when something is cursed, you can uncurse it.
Well, that is if it's cursed. I don't think it's cursed, to be honest with you.
I mean, there's
Like-
magic put it in there. There's magic surely has a way to get it back out.
Shadow magic isn't in and of itself a curse.
I don't know. I could, if. Okay, this is the problem. We needed these 4 swords to be charged with the 4 elemental energies. Karut has fire.
There's
We
a
have-
5th sword.
Wait, 5.
Oh, the motherfucking.
There's a 5th sword.
So maybe we did get something we needed then.
Wait, what? Huh?
Okay, here's the thing. This poem is all about 4 elementals, and we just got the last one about shadow.
Okay.
I don't think shadow's replacing another element. I think shadow is a 5th piece that we need.
It is the 5th.
I hate
The
myself
5th
so
elephant?
much.
You should.
Yeah,
I didn't do it on purpose.
Multi-pass.
So, in some respect,
I play.
But, like, this is actually a legitimate question that I have, like, out of character. What swords were there?
There was only 4 swords that we know of. Everything that we've seen so far has only ever told of 4 swords.
But out of character, it is important to note that if you wanted to be like Soren and trick the people by giving them all these nice rings and then keeping one really great one for yourself, this is exactly perfect for that. So you've got this shadow sword that those fools don't know about, but they do everything else the ritual needs. It's great. It's genius, really.
but since, yeah.
Were
Kendra,
there
I can
4?
carry this if you want. I don't mean to put it upon you.
I don't mind taking it, but I have limited use for it.
I'm just worried about any kind of influence.
I'm not a child.
No, I'm not saying you're a child. I'm just saying you got this fucking shit stamped on you. Who knows who's gonna try to puppet you again?
Well, maybe
Nope.
maybe she's just part of a matched set, and now she has her other half.
Actually,
Exactly.
you know,
Oh, cool. Defender now. Amazing.
What do you mean defend me? We're not on opposite sides. We're on a team here.
I think I'm missing some pieces of the puzzle.
Really?
I never really
I feel
asked.
like I'm missing. I don't even know where the puzzle is.
You've got all the pieces are upside down for you. You've got like 3 different puzzles together. And,
Sounds about right.
And what's the most confusing is that when you started, you were trying to play Scrabble.
Yes, you're describing my life to a T. But
That's
the
a metaphor, Scrabble.
okay. The one thing that I
Ye
feel
old
like I'm
Scrabble.
really missing is where you got this from. Like I didn't know you then.
Oh, we killed a dragon.
Got what from specifically?
The whole serpent elemental
Your
From a
ink.
thing.
We've been over this. It was from a lich.
Yes, I know that. I know about the lich that you guys accidentally created, but I don't did the lich give it to you exactly? Like I've never really asked.
It's from a lich.
Okay. I don't really know much about liches. I've never created one myself. So
Just throw it in her
Oh,
face.
that's a backhanded compliment.
I mean, to be fair, we also don't know much about liches.
But we have created one.
We know more than we should.
According to my notes, there were 4 tiles with holes in the center going up to the door of the temple, all carved with the elemental phrases.
mhm.
Maybe a 5th one will appear
I think
in
that's.
the presence.
Right in the center.
I feel like this is a stretch. It's not impossible, but I don't know if I necessarily think that's the case.
Why else would he deliver the other sword back to us?
Well,
I don't.
presumably,
I
I
don't know.
don't think this is what he was expecting us to put in it.
Nobody expects the Spanish
Who is he?
editions.
The lich?
Maybe
Well,
Sorry.
No,
maybe,
one man.
maybe
One
he
Oh,
also
oh.
sent the Whisperer to do this. It's precisely because of this.
Or alternatively, they might not even be connected. To be completely honest with you.
All of these are wonderful questions that we will
Let's find
continue
out
to
next
ponder
time.
for the upcoming week.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
I thank you all for what was a very nearly failed attempt to charge a sword. You were one more failure away in that from the portal opening, but not to where you wanted it.
Well, we had plan B. It was fine.
All right.
Thank God you let me roll persuasion instead of performance.
So,
Hey, you roll a natural 20. I think the performance would have worked too.
But I didn't roll a natural 20. I rolled an 11.
On performance.
all right. Well,
I rolled a natural 11.
thank you all for watching. Tune in next time to see why are there 5 elements.
I don't know.
We don't know either, but we will find out. So thanks for watching. See y'all next time.
Multipass.
Bye bye. Multipass. Oh, good time.